Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. So patch 5.45 is right around the corner and being released on Tuesday, February 2nd. And as always, I would appreciate if you tossed a Delubrian Regine at that like button and cat daddy that subscribe button. And so let's get right into the details of what you can expect from that. Let's start off with the third expansion to the Shadowbringers Relic weapon line, which is called Save the Queen, Pass to Rest. From the special site, we can see that they say the battle for the southern front wages on, and having failed to retake Castrum chances of victory appear slim for the resistance. Slimmer still should the 4th Imperial Legion bring the full might of Save the Queen to gear. And so unfortunately, we don't have that much information on exactly what we can expect from this for the Save the Queen, Pass to Rest third installment, but we can presume that similar to Eureka style content, we can assume that we're going to be getting something like a new map, new cosmetics, and upgrades likewise to our relic armor and weapons. And so pretty standard stuff with that, although the biggest piece of content that we are looking at is actually the Delubrian Regine, which is a brand new type of content for Final Fantasy XIV called a large-scale battle. And so from the special site, we are being told, beneath the waste of the Bozjan Citadel lie the ruins of Queen Gunhilda's kingdom. The temple at its heart, once a shining beacon of hope for Bozjan, now remains forever shrouded in darkness. And it is there that the Warrior of Light must lay the Queen's legacy to rest. And so bringing up some of the information that we know from the live letter for patch 5.4, we know that this is going to be a large-scale duty, and that players are not going to be able to change jobs during this duty, so it's going to be standard to like something like you can't change your job during like an expert roulette, or you can't change your level basically during any other instance content mostly. And that there's going to be a Lost Finds cache that's going to be available at the entrance of the duty. So essentially you're going to queue up, but when you get in, you're going to be at this like foyer where you're going to be able to change your lost actions and really customize your character, which I think is going to be super core because the lost actions are extremely powerful. Heck, I've seen some very fascinating builds, which probably deserves its own video. I'm not going to go too far on here, but I've seen like paladins healing, like literal full healer paladin builds. I've seen like full healer red mage builds, and it's been really wacky the kinds of things that I've seen. But there are things that lost actions with effects limited to Bozjan, such as those obtained in the Bozjan Southern Front, can be used. And so basically that is just circling back and reaffirming that any of your lost actions from the Bozjan Southern Front will be able to be used. And then they talk about the reward structure, which is each player will receive their own personalized rewards from the treasure coffers, which is, if you have done the past content from patch 5.35, is going to be very similar to how you're opening up your own coffers, and then how you'd see one other person in the alliance get the like Bozjan runner secrets like coffers, which are currently selling for millions of gil, and likewise even back then I felt a pang of jealousy. And so one thing is that certain actions used to revive players are, however, going to be restricted in the Savage version, which we are going to be getting into that in the next slide. And so the expectation here is that they're going to be two different modes. First of all, you have a normal mode, which is 24 players, which is going to be standard alliance group size. And so there are going to be no role requirements for matchmaking or anything for that. And so we're going to have to pray, if we have like just DPS like flood it, or just like healers flood it, that everyone has a lot of different lost actions so that you can like slot in appropriately. But especially because you can't like change once you're in there, so let's hope that that pans out well. But the thing is that for Savage, for 48 players, players are actually going to have to form their own parties before entering, and that you enter this instance by speaking to an NPC in Gagnos, and that the normal version obviously needs to be cleared to complete story quests and probably to access the Savage mode as well. And so the 48 player is actually really exciting because to date, Alliance Raids has been our largest instance content that we've had since A Realm Reborn, with things like World of Darkness or from the Evil East raids. And so that is going to be 3 groups of 8 people, and so now we have doubled it all the way up from 24 to 48, and so now we have 6 groups of 8 people, which is by far the largest group content that I have seen in Final Fantasy XIV yet. And I mean, obviously the hunt train is being omitted from this because everyone who's done a hunt train knows how nuts that is. But still, like, this is the largest instance 14 content we've seen, which is really cool. And yes, I am also ignoring PvP in this equation. I'm gonna get cancelled for this. I am so sorry. Please don't cancel me. I swear I've done much PvP in this game. One thing that has been done in order to facilitate this is that if we look at the patch 5.4 notes, that we can see that they have, in preparation for the large-scale battle Delubrio and Regine Savage, the addition of the 48 player alliances in patch 5.45, the following adjustments have been made. And so they changed the appearance of the HUD in public areas after joining Alliance to just allow you to see, kind of like what you can see on the screen right now, so you can see Alliance B and Alliance C up there, and likewise it might include a different thing like Alliance A, but basically when we're talking about 48 people, it's just going to be like 2 alliances, so it might just be weird conventions with B and C here. I'm probably thinking that's probably what it's at, unless they are going to be calling each of the 6 individual 8-player groups one of these alliances, which would be a change in terminology, which would be fine. That'd be fine. But basically they have now created that in order to help facilitate the creation of the groups, as well as the ready check menu has been updated to reflect this change as well. And so with all that said and done, before I move on to the next part, I want to really plug my videos here, because I know that a lot of people watching this video have not done part 1 and part 2 most likely, and so I do have videos that will take you step by step through those and explain the content to you here on this channel. And I'm going to try and link a few of them in the description, and hopefully you can find which one you want there. And so now let's move on to the next topic. And so the blue mage is finally getting its level cap increased to level 70 in patch 5.45, which is extremely exciting for so many people, myself included. The blue mage really had a kind of rough start, especially with its super low level early on, because it was only released to level 50, and so that restricted it specifically to a Realm Reborn content, which is not bad, but it was just like I wanted to do so much more. And I remember I was an outspoken critic about that, and so seeing it at level 70 is actually extremely exciting for me and many other players, because this opens up things like the Omega raids, this opens up things like the Evyx raids. This, unfortunately, however, has been clarified it will not be allowed in ultimate raids, which is a bummer, but it just opens up so much more content, which is super incredible. Likewise, there's also going to be a whole slew of new spells added, and Blue Mage exclusive gear that you can see on the screen right now that's going to be added, and that there are going to be new duties added to the Blue Mage log. Likewise, we have been officially shown some of the screenshots here, such as we can see this kick that has like the back brace of Suzaku, and so that is definitely from Suzaku. I recognize that almost anywhere. And then we have the other one, which is not immediately coming to mind here, but likewise these Blue Mage skills are looking absolutely fantastic. One thing that I am actually going to bring up here is because this was snuck all the way into the patch 5.4 notes out of many people's sight, is that Blue Mage actually did get some buffs. And so the following Blue Mage spells have been changed, such as Mighty Guard, which is their tank stance, has reduction to damage dealt changed from 70% to 40%, because previously you'd see Blue Mage tanks really be like hesitant to use this, because yes, the damage reduction is super good for Mighty Guard and very important, but a 70% damage reduction is harsh, and so you're only doing 30% of your damage. Now seeing it from 30% to 60% of your total damage is a huge improvement, and I think that this is going to go a long way to be a huge, not only quality of life change, but obviously numbers increase. And maybe I should have said that in verse. Not just a numbers change, but huge quality of life increase. Let's go with that. And so Sticky Tongue has the additional effect of increased enmity being added. And so Sticky Tongue was that Blue Mage ability that would like grab someone and drag them to you, but now this is also going to increase aggro, which is going to be super good. And so the Blue Mages have had an ability called Devour for a long time, and so what it does is that it will have an additional effect of increasing your maximum HP by 20%, and its duration previously was 15 seconds, but now when you have Aetherial Mimicry tank, it's actually going to be boosted all the way to a 70-second duration. So essentially you can keep up 20% more maximum HP constantly, which is very much like Old Warrior with their HP boost, and so I think that this actually all of these changes as a whole are gonna go a super long way to making Blue Mage tanking much more fun, much more enjoyable, and much more easier to play. And I just wanted to mention that because I know, is that really 5.45? No, but I think that this flew under almost everybody's radar, and I think that this is actually a really positive change. Anyhow, that is all for this video, and I'm wondering if you would let me know, what exactly are you most excited for patch 5.45? If I'm being super honest, I think that I'm more excited for patch 5.45 than I was for patch 5.4. Don't cancel me over that, but I'm really actually super hyped. I love Blue Mage. I love the revitalization of old content and being able to explore it with other people. I am absolutely a relic hunter, dirty relic hunter since like around Reborn days, and so seeing that expanded, as well as, I mean, there's cat daddies. Can you blame me? I mean, there's cat daddies everywhere there. Anyhow, that is all for this video, and as always, I would super appreciate if you considered cat daddying that like button and slamming that subscribe button with a delubrium regine. I really need to Google what that actually translates to. Anyhow, take care and have an absolutely fantastic day.